A lot of people were wondering what The Rock was going to do on the road to WrestleMania this year and when we could potentially see him. A lot of people were wondering if he was going to be in the Royal Rumble on Saturday night, potentially wrestling Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. If you guys remember, The Rock dumbed down all of the Dirtsheets, including Dave Meltzer, and said him not being at WrestleMania, him not wrestling at WrestleMania, was all bullshit. I got the latest on what is actually bullshit. The Rock is now mad that we all found out that he would not be at WrestleMania 41. I got the latest on The Rock's involvement right here on Off the Script. Latest on Roxanne Perez getting called up to the main roster. When did Alexa Bliss's new WWE contract come about? And what happened on her way into the Royal Rumble? And I got the latest on a WWE release from NXT. All this and so much more on today's February 5th, 2025 episode of Off the Script. We'll start with a WWE release from NXT. WWE releases Duke Hudson of Chase U. He was actually released in January. Now, this is coming from Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful Select. Sapp has learned that NXT talent Duke Hudson is no longer with the WWE after being released. We're told the move actually happened in January. Hudson last wrestled on an NXT house show in November, and we were told, says Fightful, that he was removed from the NXT internal roster pages in mid-January. Fightful says they were not given a reason and are looking into this situation. The fact that it's only one release, I don't think Duke Hudson did anything wrong or broke any policies to a point where WWE would release him. Being that it's one talent and one talent only, I'm going to assume, and this is just my opinion, this isn't really what is the reason. I'm going to assume that WWE thought Duke Hudson was someone that wasn't evolving and wasn't moving along, and WWE cut the bait before it could get any worse, and they waste more time, more resources, more effort, and more everything on Duke Hudson. So I'm going to say that WWE cut him because he just wasn't what they were looking for. They've tried. Chase U worked for a little bit. Maybe they felt like there was no other way to go for Duke Hudson on the main roster. Maybe they thought that Duke Hudson just wasn't going to cut it on the main roster, and they cut Duke Hudson loose. It's not that big of a deal. This is a great opportunity now for him. I think he just posted something on social media. Life after WWE. I believe the clip was him interviewing himself. Next chapter on his journey in professional wrestling. This is a great opportunity to prove WWE wrong. Go out on the indies, reinvent yourself, come up with a gimmick, come up with a character, go work your ass off. Maybe they give you a second look. WWE has opened the doors for a lot of different people to come on into the company. If you are with the company, get released, leave, work your ass off, get back there eventually, and get a second chance. This is not like it was back in the day. There are more opportunities now for someone like Duke Hudson, life after WWE. I think he'll be fine. I think the independents are so strong right now. They are strong enough for him to go out there and float on his own. I wish him nothing but the best. And Duke Hudson is now no longer affiliated with Chase U or the NXT brand on Tuesday night. Backstage details on Drew McIntyre's WWE Royal Rumble frustration. Drew McIntyre was not featured on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. This was the episode following the Royal Rumble. He stormed out of the Royal Rumble due to his frustration with what happened in the Men's Royal Rumble match on Saturday night. PW Insider reports that McIntyre's elimination was supposed to happen earlier than it did, and a series of events messed up the timing cues. Sources state a spot would have been where Drew got tossed out before having a stare down with Damian Priest. This was supposed to have taken place before Logan Paul came out. The idea was for Drew to throw over Jey Uso as a teased elimination, and Priest would eliminate Drew to kick off their WrestleMania feud, which is now being rumored. The WrestleMania feud where McIntyre feels it's a nothing match in Las Vegas. I got all of my full in-detail thoughts on Drew McIntyre and this entire situation on yesterday's episode of OTS, so make sure you guys go and check that out. The report noted that several sequences involving LA Knight, including one with Roman Reigns, took far longer than planned or expected. In speaking to one production source, they noted everyone involved probably needed a minute of time to get back on track. Logan Paul's entrance then delayed the sequence yet again. Once Paul hit the ring, he and Knight did what was planned. But LA Knight accidentally backed into McIntyre, Priest, and Uso, slowing their momentum. This caused the clunky-looking elimination. As a result, this would give the backstory as to why McIntyre commented backstage about someone getting their moves in at the expense of the stories being told in the Royal Rumble match. I feel for Drew McIntyre. I really do. I feel like he deserves a big WrestleMania feud after coming off what he did with CM Punk. And now that he's targeted Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and they're not really going into that for WrestleMania season, I'm sure that they will revisit that at some point. Instead, they're going to give Roman Reigns something with CM Punk, something with Seth Rollins, potentially something with both of them, which may result in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. While McIntyre gets Damian Priest, where they have a couple of situations in their history that should be played out. Is it the right time to see that played out? I don't know. I don't think it's the right time. I think that's more for something after WrestleMania, after he takes care of the Bloodline, after he then targets the WWE Championship. I do think things are out of order here. He's got to target the Bloodline. He's got to beat Roman Reigns and get his revenge on Roman Reigns, then go and wrestle for the WWE Championship. How does he get there? Does he win Money in the Bank? Does he win King of the Ring? Maybe he meets Damian Priest along the way. I don't really understand why we're going from Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, to then Drew McIntyre losing to Punk, and then targeting everybody that helped Roman Reigns in War Games, help Roman Reigns get his Ulafala, help Roman Reigns get his Bloodline back. McIntyre targeted everybody. That should be the story that gets played out first. Instead, they're going from that to McIntyre and Damian Priest because of something that happened in the Royal Rumble. I don't really understand the logic there. I don't want to shit on it before it actually happens, because if there's one guy that we can trust to tell a great story, especially what he did last year, it's Drew McIntyre. Both him and Priest had career years, and I know that they're going to have a banger match if they are able to go out there and do what they need to do. So I don't really see that it's going to be a bad match. I just don't think it's the right story to tell in the sequence of things that have happened. Now, I really do feel for him, but at the same time, there's 30 guys in the Royal Rumble that the company's booking for. And there were about 7 or 8 different guys in the ring at the same time, which is more than normal. The women had like 14 or 15 women in the match at the same time, and I really did not like that aspect. It was one of the 3 things I did not like about the women's Royal Rumble match. 8 is enough. And even at that number, it's still a lot to really go out there and have everything go off perfectly. I guarantee you there is no Royal Rumble match in the history of the 38 years that is a Royal Rumble where every sequence that has been planned out to happen in the Royal Rumble match, I guarantee you there's not one single Royal Rumble match in 38 years. There's not. There's always something that goes wrong. There's always something that happens. There's a botch or something happens here or there. There's not one perfect Royal Rumble in 38 years, and you can add this Royal Rumble and this situation to the list of many situations that have happened in the Royal Rumble over 38 years. It's going to happen. People are going to bump into each other. People are going to get miscommunication. People are going to do something that they shouldn't. People are going to just fuck things up. I mean, it's not the end of the fucking world. I'm sure Drew, I'm sure Priest, I'm sure Triple H and WWE Creative will fix this mess. McIntyre has said once, twice, 3 times. If it doesn't come out of his mouth, then don't believe anything that's going on regarding him and what he's doing. Also, McIntyre right now is with the Monday Night Raw brand. We don't have any official announcement of him moving to SmackDown, but if he is wrestling Damian Priest, who was officially announced, now on SmackDown full-time, it is probably within the understanding here that McIntyre will be moved over to Friday Night SmackDown so that this feud could take place at WrestleMania because the transfer window now is completely closed. So they'll probably have McIntyre move over to SmackDown, and then they will do this feud. It could be regarding LA Knight as well. Maybe we see McIntyre and LA Knight. I don't even know. We don't even know if McIntyre's WrestleMania plans are set in stone. We don't know. The last report said that LA Knight was taking the blame for it. I thought it was Logan Paul. It might be Drew McIntyre and LA Knight at WrestleMania. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but if there's anybody that's going to make it work, it's going to be Drew McIntyre. Roxanne Perez, main roster call-up is on the horizon. Perez is a two-time NXT Women's Champion, former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. She had some major matches in NXT, lost the title on New Year's Evil to Julia, who's the new champion, and she lasted 1 hour and 7 minutes within the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. One main roster source told Fightful that Roxanne Perez had long been ready for the main roster from a performance perspective. Shotzi has been in NXT. She's on a main roster deal and is expected to head back to the main roster soon as well. So Roxanne Perez is getting the call up. She's getting the call up, and I'm assuming she'll have something to do at WrestleMania, and it will probably include Bayley. This is a long time coming. She's 23 years old. She is on her way to having a spectacular career. If the Royal Rumble is any idea of what the woman is capable of, an hour and 7 minutes, which I think is the longest in the women's Royal Rumble history, she's going to do very well on the main roster. And the thing is, with Roxanne Perez, we saw her grow up from 20 years old on NXT, and she was this blue-collar fucking girl-next-door babyface, which was fine. And then Cora Jade got hurt. Roxanne took on the bad girl persona. I did not believe in it when I saw it, but now I can't unsee it. I think Roxanne Perez and the role that she's playing is excellent, and she's done a great job. She's one of my personal favorites on the women's side in WWE, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she does on the main roster. We got some bangers coming with Roxanne Perez on the main roster. Very excited to see what that lady does in WWE on WrestleMania season. And Bayley, one-on-one with Bayley, could be rumored at WrestleMania. Speaking of the women, Alexa Bliss. PW Insider reports that Alexa Bliss snuck into the Royal Rumble around 3 p.m. local time. Bliss was in Florida and flew into Indianapolis the day of the show. No one knew Bliss would be in the Royal Rumble until word began to spread closer to bell time, as she was first hidden from everybody. The company had Bliss merchandise ready for her return, and it was already designed and ready to go for the night for the San Jose Raw, which was rumored to be the return of Alexa Bliss. They were told Bliss would be on the Raw brand going forward. Fightful reports that Shotzi was originally planned for the Royal Rumble before Alexa Bliss stepped in. They were told Shotzi was just getting reps in to prepare for a main roster return as well. Those they spoke with say they didn't hold anything against Bliss and were happy to see her back. However, some people did feel bad for Shotzi as she got the call into the Royal Rumble, was given a number and a spot, only to then have it taken away from her because Alexa Bliss was back and they sorted out the contract issue, and then WWE obviously wanted to get Alexa Bliss in the Royal Rumble. I'm glad she's back. I'm not the biggest Alexa Bliss fan. I have to see how she has, I don't want to say progressed over the last 2 years since the last time we saw her. Hopefully there is some progression there. But she will be on Raw, and the Wyatt Six are going to be on SmackDown. So it looks like she will be kind of donning the Fiend look, maybe, but not integrated into the Wyatt Six lore or storyline yet, which I am glad to see. She's still got Lily the Doll, and WWE is obviously going to be selling merchandise with the Fiend likeness on Alexa, the gloves, Lily the Doll. WWE is going to make some money with that before they do anything else creatively with Alexa Bliss. I'm glad that she's back. Another body for that division. Another solid name for a potential United States Championship or an Intercontinental Championship. And I do think that her heel work when she was the goddess Alexa Bliss is top-tier stuff. Her wrestling, not so much. But as far as a promo and a character and someone to get heat, I think all of those elements are there for Alexa Bliss to just fit right back in pretty easily on the Monday Night Raw side of things. And I could see Lyra Valkyria and Alexa Bliss absolutely for the Intercontinental Championship, potentially going into WrestleMania season. Now, I did say Becky and Lyra was probably the rumored match for the Intercontinental Championship, which I do feel is still on the table. I think that's best for both ladies. But even if Becky does beat Lyra or Lyra beats Becky, I think Alexa Bliss fitting into that Intercontinental Championship title picture is the way to go. So we'll see what happens there. But she is back with the Raw brand and back full-time with WWE. The Rock. Everybody wants to see The Rock back, the final boss back. I don't blame them. WWE's a lot cooler, a lot more laid back than normal when The Rock is there. But The Rock reportedly is furious over leaks revealing his WrestleMania 41 absence. He's mad at the Dirtsheets for leaking information he would not be at WrestleMania 41 months in advance of Las Vegas. Dave Meltzer reported as much on Wrestling Observer Radio February 4th when wrestling media started reporting that The Rock went missing for WrestleMania 41 plans in November and December. Meltzer kind of heard that the final boss was upset as he didn't want the information getting out. I bet he does the show now just because he's so mad that everybody is reporting it, says Meltzer. Additionally, Meltzer stated his belief that if Johnson was free of other commitments, he would be working WrestleMania. Now, the rumor is he's doing some live-action Moana movie, or I don't know what he's doing. Something regarding Moana. I don't know what he's doing specifically, but, you know, I do agree with Dave, even though he does get more wrong than right. I do think that The Rock, if he had no other commitments, he would already be back on television. For all we know, he would have won the Royal Rumble, and Cody Rhodes versus The Rock would be happening at WrestleMania 41. I believe Dave when he says if he had no other commitments, free of other commitments, he would already be factored into WrestleMania 41. He's 52 years old. He still loves professional wrestling, says Meltzer, and wants to be a part of this specific period, this boom period of WWE. Reshoots for the live-action version of Moana, clashing with WrestleMania 41, April 19 and April 20 in Las Vegas, have been speculated as the reason for Rock missing the biggest wrestling show of the year. Johnson reprises his role as Maui for the film, which is expected to release on July 10th, 2026. Cody Rhodes has been The Rock's rumored WrestleMania 41 opponent before the news that Johnson wasn't going to make the show. The obvious rivalry that everybody wanted to see play out following WrestleMania 40 on the Raw after WrestleMania, where they shook hands and The Rock told him, "Don't go and break my heart again," as he handed something back to Cody Rhodes. The next time we saw The Rock was at the Bad Blood pay-per-view, where Cody and Roman teamed up and Jimmy made his return. Jimmy Uso, that is. The Rock came out, no rhyme or reason. We don't have any explanation why he came out at the end of the match with his People's Championship. He stood in the aisleway and did the 1, 2, 3 and throat slash, and the show went off the air. Then the next time we saw The Rock after that was on the Netflix debut on January 6th, where he was basically Dwayne Johnson, and no version of the final boss was shown on January 6th. And in that same show, he was drinking tequila and drinking vodka with Cody Rhodes outside of his tour bus, and they were very buddy-buddy. And then he shows up on January 7th and blasts all the people who criticized the direction that WWE went in on January 6th, asking what the fuck, where's the storyline continuation, what's going on, you're on TV, now you're buddy-buddy, last time we saw you didn't like him. People were asking questions. So The Rock said, shut your mouth, know your role, and just enjoy the ride that The Rock is going to take you on. Did The Rock bullshit us? Sounds like Meltzer, as of right now, he finally got one right. Where is he? Where is he? Is the live action shit really the reason that he's not on TV? If he didn't have any commitments, would he be on TV? Yes. But if The Rock wanted to do something, The Rock is going to go and do it, no matter what. No matter what commitment he has, he's going to go and do it. I don't know what commitments, I don't know what contracts, I don't know what binding deals he has with fucking Hollywood and the movie studios. Maybe he can't get out of it. But this movie's not going to be released until 2026. He can't take a few weeks off to go do WrestleMania and finish a storyline that he's gotten on television, gotten everybody excited on television. You can't take a couple weeks to do WrestleMania. A Monday night here, a Friday night here, a Monday night over there, WrestleMania over here. You can't take a couple of shows to go and tell this story and wrap everything up. The Rock wanted to do it. The Rock wanted to do it. The Rock probably knows what he's got going on 2 or 3 years from now. WWE probably knew that as well. If they wanted to make it happen, they could definitely make it happen. He's choosing not to make it happen. And I don't know at that point if people are going to be interested in it. I don't know what's going to happen or where Cody Rhodes is going to be as far as his status on WWE TV. Who knows if Rock and Roman's even going to take place at WrestleMania? Does anybody still want to see it? I don't know. 2026 is when this movie releases. WrestleMania 41's April 19, April 20. What does that mean for WrestleMania 42? Is he not going to be a part of WrestleMania 42 season? I don't know. I have no idea. Now, with the rivalry and everything that happened at WrestleMania 40 going into 41, obviously we saw Rock and Reigns defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins before Cody dethroned Roman as the WWE champion on night 2. Rock teased a future match with Rhodes on the Raw after Mania, handing the American Nightmare what was a trinket. Nobody knows what he handed him. He eyed the WWE title. He asked Cody in a very bizarre segment to hold the WWE title as he was looking lustfully at the championship. This was effectively blown up during the January 6th episode of Raw, where they were very buddy drinking alcohol together, ending their beef for now. I don't like it, man. You know, you either go all in or you don't go in at all. The Rock has given us fucking little breadcrumbs here and there, and it just really fucked up everything. And it skewed everybody's, mentality going into WrestleMania because everybody was thinking it's got to be Rock and Cody. It's got to be the main event of WrestleMania. Rock's going to be at the Royal Rumble. Cody needs Rock as an opponent to tie up everything. His appearances on television. I honestly think The Rock did more harm than good here. Now, I know Triple H had a WrestleMania card with The Rock and without The Rock, just in case The Rock wanted to do WrestleMania. But WrestleMania not only would have been a lot cooler, I think people are still clamoring to see the final boss the way we got him last year on television here. WrestleMania would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot more synchronized. Pieces would have been in place. Matches that you're probably not going to get now would have happened with The Rock involved. It just fucked everything up. It really did. Am I disappointed? Slightly. Do I understand it? Sure. Am I going to lose sleep over it? Of course I'm not. I would prefer that to play out because we got one thing that led into another thing, that led into another thing, that led into another thing, and we're not going to see it play out, and it's going to be years before we see any conclusion to it, if that. So I honestly think he did more harm than good. He lied to the fans on a public forum that he was going to be there, that the initial report was bullshit. And then it looks like as of today, the original report wasn't bullshit at all. And in fact, The Rock just wanted to dumb everything down because he didn't want to look like a fucking idiot. So yes, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm sure WrestleMania is going to be fine. I'm sure the stories are going to be fine. I'm sure the stories are going to get us and invest us in what Triple H is doing. But would I prefer Cody and Rock as the main event for WrestleMania this year over whatever they got going on right now? Yes, I do. No matter if it's Punk, no matter if it's Randy Orton or John Cena. My number one choice from the day Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 40 ended was Rock and Cody all those months ago. And I still feel that way today. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you did enjoy today's upload, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of everything that happened with The Rock. Are you upset he's not going to be at WrestleMania 41? And please go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. Streams all over the place. The audience this week and last week has been tremendous. The support has been tremendous. I want to thank you guys very much. And please hit that subscribe button down below and make sure you turn on the bell for all notifications so you guys know exactly when I go live or when I upload a video. Also, follow me on social media. It's the best way to keep up to date with the channel at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Thank you guys very much. I will see you back live Wednesday night, tonight, with Jesse for AEW Dynamite and the live stream post show right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.